Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome once again to the underground lair where I create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And it's the perfect day to do that because today is Halloween, so happy Halloween, everyone. Did a little decoration here in the underground lair, but I want to talk about some of my favorite Halloween memories, and I want to do a sketch. I want to do this sketch right here. It's a little ghost, a little pumpkin guy, and a little witch, and they're kind of in a creepy situation. Perfect for Halloween. So normally I've been just inking these things, but I want to do the whole process. I want to show you how to do that. But in order to do that, we got to go back in time, and the only way to do that is through the paralleloscope, where we can go back in time, forward in time, to other dimensions, other universes, parallel, whatever. With this device we can do that, so we're going to take a look into the past of the process of me creating this and talking about some memories from my past. So let's get to it. Hey, happy Halloween, everybody. So I wanted to get this video out, of course, today on Halloween. I thought about doing it earlier so it would have, I guess, a little more longevity, because I don't know how many people will watch a Halloween video the day after Halloween. Well, hopefully people will watch this if you don't happen to catch it on Halloween. But as I'm posting it, and as I'm recording this, it is Halloween, and I thought I wanted to talk a little bit about my holiday or my Halloween memories and things like that, but I wanted to do a sketch, and lately I've been just doing like ink sketches where I kind of show you the inking process, but this one I thought I'd just take from start to finish. So as you can see now, I'm just kind of roughing out some characters. I want to do kind of a scene of maybe 3 trick-or-treaters kind of entering this kind of spooky house. So my main character here in the foreground, a little witch, and then I'm going to have a ghost and then another little kid with a pumpkin hat. But so anyway, I'm using my Cola Erase pencil. This is I think just a red pencil. I tend to like these better than graphite pencils because they don't smudge as much, and I don't know, it's a little lighter, and I don't know, I just like it. It's got, I think it's kind of got like a waxy consistency, so it doesn't smudge as much. That's why I'm not crazy about like graphite pencils, but thought I would do red. I wish I had like an orange one. That would have looked good with like Halloween, like the black against the orange. But anyway, so now just roughing these out, and as you can see. But kind of move away from the drawing, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Halloween and how it, I guess this may turn into kind of an old man rant, but I don't know. You hear about like the war on Christmas and how they're taking Christmas out of the schools and all that. I don't want to get too like political, whether, obviously there's separation of church and state and all that, and again, I'm trying to stay away from that. But you don't hear too much about like a war on Halloween, and I'm not like trying to make this like a thing, like a conspiracy or anything, but it is kind of weird to me that, I remember as a kid, going to school, and everyone would go to school Halloween. They'd be dressed up. They'd, just whatever, all these different costumes. There'd be a big parade. It was just a huge thing when I was a kid, and to me, Halloween has nothing to do with, religion or anything like that. I don't think, it doesn't have roots in that at all. It's just about, to me, it's just about having fun, dressing up, going out and getting candy. And I think some people, they look at it as something else, which I don't see at all. I think, I've loved Halloween since I was a kid, obviously, and I've never kind of grown out of that. And I think it's kind of sad. I was actually at the grocery store today. It was kind of weird. So there were a few people in the grocery store, like the cashiers and everything, and they were dressed up. And the line I was in, she had she was like dressed as a sports fan. And the guy ahead of me was like, he's like, is there some reason why you're dressed up? And she was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like Halloween. And the guy was like, oh, the guy had absolutely no idea it was even Halloween. So I guess it's safe to say that you're not getting any candy at that guy's house. But I don't know, I think this relates to a lot of artists like myself, and probably, I know a lot of you guys that are listening or watching are artists as well. But you know, as kids, I think everyone draws and everyone creates, and then at some point, most people kind of grow out of that, or you know, either find it childish or whatever, but they lose that love of drawing and everything that I think everyone kind of has in the beginning. I think that's the same with Halloween a lot. Some people think, oh, it's not cool, or they kind of grow out of that. I never grew out of it. I love Halloween. I've loved it since I was a kid, and I don't know, it just kind of, it in some ways it kind of bothers me to see that how, you know, it seems a lot of ways we've kind of moved away from that. Like I said, as a kid, I'd go to school, we'd get to dress up, have these big parties and everything. And now, you know, I dropped my daughter off at school today, no costumes, everyone's, you know, in their school uniforms and everything like that. And it's kind of sad that they're kind of missing out on that. And for a while, I guess there was a transition, and I don't know how, I guess across the, you know, country, people's schools and everything are probably a little bit different. But for a while, it wasn't just like they stopped doing Halloween. It was almost like a transition. Like they went from, well, we're not going to celebrate Halloween, but what we'll do is, what we'll do in quotes, we'll do this literary fair where, you know, you can't wear Halloween costumes, but you can pick a character from, you know, your favorite, you know, literature, your favorite book or whatever. And I don't even know if I think they got to choose for you. Like they would read a book and you get to dress up a character from there. And my problem with that is, like I said, I go all out for Halloween. So I make my kids costumes and everything like that. So to me, it was kind of like, well, guess what? Instead of making one costume this year, you get to make two, because we're doing this literary fair as well. So you can't use the costume that you spent all this time on. You've got to create a whole other costume. So I don't know. It just, when you have three kids, that becomes kind of a big deal. So anyway, but now it's kind of turned into like nothing at all. They don't even celebrate Halloween at schools, and I don't know. I think that's kind of because, you know, I have all these really fond memories of growing up and Halloween, and you know, I don't know if my kids have those same. I mean, sure they like Halloween and everything, but it seems like a lot of it has kind of gone away. Even like trick or treating. I mean, kids still trick or treat, but like I remember just, and it could kind of depend on where you live and everything, but like my neighborhood, you know, there's really not a whole lot of trick or treaters. I actually, you know, now I go to a friend's house. We do this big giant yard hunt, and we get a pretty decent amount of traffic there. But I think that's just because it's such a spectacle, and that's something I'm trying to do to kind of, me and my friend, we're trying to keep up that, you know, that theme. And there's a lot of people out there that do that. But just in general, just regular neighborhoods, you don't see as many trick-or-treaters. Now they'll do something where they'll go to like a shopping center and go from like one, you know, store to another, or different things like that. But I don't know, I just like walking the neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. But you know, as a kid, some of the memories I remember was, in addition to, you know, the trick-or-treating, and I was fortunate enough to have, my parents liked Halloween a lot too, and they just built these incredible costumes. And you know, back in the day, we didn't have store-bought costumes. You didn't have much of a choice. You had pretty much the Ben Cooper costumes, which are the you know, the plastic mask with kind of this plastic smock, and you know, it's got the little elastic on it that is snap and hit you in the face, and then the smock is basically, if you're not familiar with these costumes, just do a Google search on Ben Cooper costumes, and you'll see some of them are just. It's funny because they're just like horrendous looking. They're so off model as far as the character. Most of the time they look nothing like the character. And then they would actually have the image of the character with the name of the character on the smock. So, you can't tell. We realize these aren't very true to the actual character. You can't tell who they are unless we plaster their name on this basically what was like a garbage bag with, you know, a printed image of it on the character. But anyway, so that was pretty much what you had to deal with if you went to the stores. So my parents, when, you know, they would create all these cool costumes, and maybe I'll throw some of the pictures up. Maybe I'll wait till the end and I'll do it kind of like a slideshow or whatever, but just to show you some of these costumes, and then I try to again carry on that tradition with my kids and stuff. But so in addition to that, and they also yeah, I would go to like, it was like a big thing, and I don't know that I assume they still do this, but now cosplay is kind of a big thing too, which kind of is almost every day or every weekend that they have a convention, which is almost every weekend, and some of those costumes are amazing. But you know, back in the day, before the internet, before you kind of see all these other people coming together, my parents would do these costumes, and then they would, you know, truck us around to all these different costume contests, and I actually won a few of them. Me and my brother, we like, one year I won a bike, and then I would get like gift certificates to like Toys R Us and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. Now, granted, when you think about it, the amount of time and money they would put into these costumes, well, I guess it would probably be, I mean, a bike's a pretty big item, but some of the smaller things, I'm sure it's almost like with the cosplay, you know, some of these costumes, like whatever you win at like a convention, prizes or cash or whatever, a lot of those people spent way more than that on the costume. But anyway, but we would have in my neighborhood, there was this cul-de-sac. It was kind of like this big, you know, like this deep cul-de-sac that went back pretty far. And they would kind of do a block party in this cul-de-sac, and pretty much every house participated. They would do different things. Like one house would be showing old classic like white movies, like Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein or Dracula or The Mummy. Then you'd have another house that would have the things where they would have these little bins out, and you reach in and you'd have to guess, and you know, they'd be like peeled grapes and they say they're eyeballs and things. Another house would have like bobbing for apples, and then one house would do this really cool haunted house that you get to walk through and everything. It was just so cool because it just seemed like a big community thing, and everyone got involved. And I don't know, I just you know, really enjoyed all that. So when I moved into the house I'm in now, and I've been here for like 20 years, that's like one of the first things. Like, I got this house, you know, it's cool, you know, and at that point you kind of get out and you meet neighbors and things like that. So my house is like directly across from a cul-de-sac. So I kind of talked to all the neighbors and said, oh, you know, I was telling them about this thing we used to do, and we should do that again. And I basically got all the houses in the cul-de-sac and then some of the surrounding houses to participate, and we didn't all do different things like in the different house, but we'd have, you know, costume contests, and we'd do a barbecue out there, and you know, we make Halloween treats and all that kind of stuff, and give out candy, and it was like a big party, and it was cool. And it went on like that we did it for a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and then gradually people started moving away, and then it kind of fell apart. And then after a while, I was just kind of, like I said, I was kind of doing it by myself, and like we just didn't have that amount of trick-or-treaters. So then I decided, then my friend, you know, he got his own place, and he's kind of on this corner lot, and it's kind of, so he's got kind of a fairly decent sized yard that wraps around. And I'm hoping to put up a video of what we're doing now, but that's kind of what I'm doing after I get done recording this. I'm going to go finish setting that up for Halloween tonight. But we've got we just accumulated tons and tons of props and things, and we always kind of have like a pirate theme, and we were going to do different things, like we would do pirates one year and something, but it just got to be so much. I mean, if we were to switch the theme, but we always add something new. This year we're adding a pirate that steers like a big, you know, boat steering wheel, like from a ship, and it's rigged up to a motor so the steering wheel turns and everything. And I'm building a thing where if you've ever been on the ride The Pirates of the Caribbean, where right before you go down that big dip, the pirate on the wall is talking, and so I'm building something like that. So I'll put up a video hopefully after this and kind of show you what we're doing. But yeah, and we get tons of people that come by there, but it took a little while. First we had some people, and now people just know it's there, and it keeps growing. Now I think my friend is gonna move, so next year we might have a different place, so we'll have to see kind of what we do with that, and hopefully we can continue to keep this thing going, because it is real fun, and it is nice to kind of, in this small pocket, get this feel of kind of like an old school Halloween and everything. So I don't know. These are, you know, just so many things that I think about around this season and everything. I just, obviously, I just love Halloween and just want other people to enjoy it too, and not kind of look at it like either it's just for kids, or it's just, you know, just they're too old for it, or, you know, come on, it's a great time to get out, have fun, and you know, put on a costume, be something that you aren't, you know, one day in your life be something other than what you normally are, and if you can't do that, then you're totally boring, and I feel sorry for you. But anyway, sort of turn back to the drawing here a little bit. We are now in the inking stages and just kind of filling in some of this. I'm using my, this is just a Cotman watercolor brush that I'm using. It's a number 1, I believe, or number 0, maybe number 0. Yeah, number 0. And using my Deleter Black number 5 manga ink. And just in case you guys kind of wanted to know what I'm using for this particular sketch. So anyway, but yeah, so have a lot of fond memories of Halloween. Now there are, I don't want to sound like this old man rant where, oh, it's so better back in my day. There are things, you know, that are even better now about Halloween. One of them, like I said, just the costumes. I think even the store-bought costumes now, they just look a lot truer to, you know, the characters they are, and they're a lot better made. So that's cool. So yeah, even if you do go out and buy a store-bought costume, they use, a lot of them are really look good, and they use just different materials, and they just more true to form and everything. So that's cool. And in some ways, I talk about how Halloween's not the same, and it's kind of, you know, people are kind of moving away from it. But in some ways, it's bigger than ever. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have like Halloween superstores that pop up every Halloween, and so commercially, you know, I guess it's a bigger thing, which makes it easier to find, you know, props and things like that when we were building our sets and stuff. And what's fun is just trying to find, you know, you wait till after Halloween and around the year you find old props that people don't want, they're giving away, or you buy broken things and fix them up and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, it's just a blast, and I love it, and hopefully you love it too. Yeah, let me know what your opinion is on Halloween. Hopefully you're all big fans like I am. Leave anything in the comments section. I try to get back to everyone. And I'll probably leave you with just kind of a slideshow of some pictures of Halloween costumes that I had when I was a kid. Now keep in mind the photographs are old and probably not, the resolution's probably not that great, but then some other stuff that I did with my kids and some things like that. But let me know, what's your favorite Halloween costume, what's your favorite Halloween memory, and I will see you guys later. I'll leave you with this, and that is all.